and you're looking at the weekly chart once again on the Dow Jones, you'll be able to see higher low, higher low, higher low. And until the market breaks those higher lows, we're not going to get a crash. Now, if we're looking for weakness in the market, we go back to over here. All right, we go back to over here, and if I take everything off the screen here, and if you look at it, now remember that's the weekly chart there, right? And I'm gonna remember the weekly chart, because the weekly chart is so important for if you're looking to buy something and hold it for many years. You want to start seeing at least some change. Doesn't mean it's always going to stay that way, but to be on the right side, you want to look at the weekly chart. Now, the daily chart, what is that all about? The daily chart is obviously, you know, the one that we should be looking at. Let's go look at the S&P 500 here for a minute, and let's go have a look at what the actual market was telling us through here. So we can see that the market did what? The market had a major high, then it had a major low, then a lower high and a higher low, then a double top, then a what? Then a lower low. Then it created the lower high. Huh, interesting, right? Now it looks like the sellers are starting to come into control. It looks like the sellers may be knocking it down. And then it comes down and makes this higher low. And then as you can see, right, this point right here is when the market what? It was this point right here when the market overall changed its tune. Right here, it changed its tune. So, okay, now we actually just created a higher high. What does that mean? That the market is now changing. Came down, created this higher low through here, then a higher high, then a higher low, and then the market took off. So right here at this point right here is when the market said, hang on a minute, we were actually stepping down, but now we're not. And this is where, guys, like when I trade the daily chart, I always make sure that if I'm trading the daily chart, I don't trade against that weekly trend. Because if that weekly trend is still pushing those higher lows, that big, massive weekly trend, as you can see, the most highest probability trades have always been on the upside. And trying to trade these short-term counter trends and pullbacks against that. Right? Against that. That's where things can really go wrong in the markets, and it can really be detrimental to your trading. And if you want to talk about probability in the markets, probability is all about just make sure you're trading with the trend. Now, if you go look at that's the S&P. If you go look at the Dow Jones, who's in control right now on the Dow Jones? Let me take everything off the screen here for a minute. So who's in control of the Dow Jones as we speak right now? If we're looking at the Dow Jones, low, we had a high, we had a higher low, we had a higher high, we had a higher low, we had a higher high. Look at this here, lower low, higher high. Hang on a minute. So who's in control right now? No one, right? No one. No one is in control of the Dow Jones right now. What is it? It's sideways. There's no one in control. Lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high. No one in control. The S&P is still pushing higher highs. The Nasdaq is still pushing higher highs and higher lows. What does that tell me? That tells me, and for me, the Dow Jones is the leading of the overall markets there. All right. That's what I personally believe. If the top 30 stocks in America right now are really, there's no one really in control, create these lower lows, lower highs, there's no clear pattern, then something else is about, something's not right. All right. There's a bit of confusion. There's no clear direction. Now, if we do get a bit of a pullback through here, and we create a higher low, and then we break back above this high through here, who's in control? Buyers. And if that happens, and if we break past this previous high and we do create a little high low through here, then what's likely to happen? We're likely to run to the next resistance level, which is up there. But right now, the Dow Jones is like, there's no one clearly in control of this. So remember, guys, use this analysis, and no matter what, and there's so much you can learn from the chart itself. And the more we can just identify what's going on in the market right now with the charts, the better trader will be. Remember, always go back to that weekly chart. What is that weekly chart telling us? Because remember, if you go back and have a look at the election where everyone was saying the market was going to crash, remember, this point right here, this is where the election was, this up bar through here. Okay, what was happening at that time of the election? Low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. What happened? Higher low. As of the election, it actually broke up. And as this remember weekly chart started to turn around, there was no reason, because the buyers are raising their prices, there's no reason to think the market was going to crash that time. Now, yes, we could possibly go down because there's no certainties in the markets. That's why we need to have a stop loss in place, not trading too much of your account at one time because there's no guarantees, etc., etc. But remember, this is all about probability. And the probability comes from what the market is telling us what's likely to happen. And then you can see the big market, then the market moved up massively from that.